Pointed.
Boom, and we in there. It's the Crow and...
One pissed off Oso show.
Come on, man. We're just not getting there. Let us just get into it first, and then we'll, start talking about it. All right, we're going to do a recap of last week's game. That was week 2. The Thursday matchup was Buffalo versus Miami, with Buffalo winning 31 to Miami's 10.
Before Tua got hurt, which we're going to talk about that shortly, Miami's just not a team that blew me away, that impressed me. I knew they were always bad. Before Tua got hurt, he was making silly mistakes. As we've have gone back and forth on this show a lot, I'm not a fan of Tua. I think he has his moments, but I've never seen him play like a complete solid 4 games in a row where I'm like, wow, that's that quarterback. I just don't think he's that good. And with his health issues, he should seriously consider just taking the $124 million that he's guaranteed and calling it quits. But that's another topic.
Yeah, he's definitely got me on the 2A and it train, bro. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I think that he's a talented guy. You know, with the shade, I think that he's definitely middle of the pack, though. Like, he hasn't. I don't feel like he makes that team better. Tyreek makes that team. Waddle makes that team. A-Chain, I know you were missing a couple players. You didn't have Mostert.
Yeah, but A-Chan is more than enough.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying. I agree with that. Like, I think that they had more than enough to win the game, but defensively, they didn't look good. You know what I mean? Offensively, they didn't look good. Like, the 2 picks. The first one was, good defensive play. The second one, I was just like, bro, what you doing? Like, throw it out. Yeah. You don't have enough arm strength to throw it out of bounds, but that's a whole nother topic. Like you said, I think that at this point, man, you got to really consider your future. I don't know where you are. I don't know what the doctors are telling you, but when I saw his fingers throw up gang signs, I said, oh, yeah, you gotta call that serious. So
I forgot what the name for it was. I was supposed to go back and look at it, but apparently if you go through this more than twice in your career, that can cause like long-term CTE, like, certain brain issues that are gonna really like start to have like a serious effect on him when he's like in his 40s and 50s. He got kids, he's married, he's only 26. And from what we've heard this week, he's being placed on injured reserve, and he has full intention of actually playing again, which is nuts to me. This is his 4th concussion in his career, 3rd in the last 2 years. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why they're not trying to talk to him, why they're not. I mean, it's ultimately his choice, but I mean, $124 million guaranteed, and he's already made probably like 40 or 50. At 26, bro, like, you gotta be there for your family, man. It's not like it's no joke. It's no joke, for real.
Well, next game we're gonna go into is Tampa Bay versus Detroit. With Tampa Bay winning 20 to Detroit's 16.
Tampa Baker.
That's it.
That's what I was calling Baker Mayfield last year. Look, as much as the guy has gone through, Baker is really starting to like impress me. I'm not calling him a top quarterback, but
yeah,
he's not really making any mistakes. His connection with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin right now is lethal. I feel like the disrespect that he used to receive is now unwarranted. He still has to prove a little bit more, but I feel like he's more than a game manager now. I feel like he's an actual real first string quarterback now. I just feel like the mojo works for him in Tampa and Detroit. The NFL just seems to be in a very weird place right now. I don't know if it's the lack of play in preseason, but nobody looks sharp except for the Saints. But like no one looks sharp. Like the Lions didn't look that good. We're gonna go over down a few other games where teams that are expected to be quote unquote world beaters just don't look great right now. So but Lions should be able to bounce back. It was a rematch of the divisional round, I believe, last year. So it was a good game, but Tampa looks good too.
Yeah, I gotta give credit to Baker Mayfield. Like I said, I'm an OU fan, so watching him, I was like, oh yeah, he's good. First of all, when he was 1 overall, I was like, what are they doing? Like that's not the move, and I still don't think that would have been the move. But I will say that he has playmaking ability. He's playmaker Baker, so I'll give him that hands down. Problem is, I think he's settled in to his game more so than trying to be a Pat Mahomes. That's not your role. But I know that that's kind of like what you want to do. And he talked a lot of trash, and we got a lot of hate. But I think that Mike Evans is one of the most underrated receivers that we've seen in the past 10 to 15 years.
Brutally underrated.
Like, first ballot to me. Like, beast, a monster. No matter what quarterback he has, he's going to come up with 1,000 yards a season. So they look good. Detroit, I don't count that one too much against them. I mean, it's a loss, but it's not enough to throw in the towel. I think they just need to go back to the drawing board, figure that out.
Yeah.
Next game, Indianapolis versus Green Bay. Green Bay 16, Indy 10.
Anthony Richardson is a bust.
What?
Going back to what I was saying last week. He's just not good. Florida Gators aren't good. And the coach with you know how I feel about that coach. He was our offensive coordinator, Mr. Shane Steichen. The offense should be a lot better than what it is.
Who?
The head coach. I'm just saying because of the coach.
How could it be?
Don't they got Pittman and they still got
who's
Jonathan Taylor? Well, Anthony Richardson.
At the end.
Yeah. And then the Packers, I believe they were in a must-win type of situation because if Jordan Love would have missed the next 2 or 3 weeks from there, say they lose out, that could have been bad. So for them to get to 1-1 was huge.
Hello, Josh Jacobs. Welcome to the party. 151 yards. Damn. Yeah, he finally showed up. That's what I was expecting. But I know, like you said, I think there's a factor, a common denominator with people starting to thaw out week 3 and 4 because they're not playing in preseason. So I think that offenses aren't really sharp like they need to be. But Anthony Richardson, yeah, I made that call. I knew that wasn't going to be it. I saw him at Florida. I said, what? Same thing. I said, why are they doing this? Why? Why would they? They'll look for another quarterback in about 3 years. They're going to look for another one.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother. Never mind. New York Jets versus Tennessee with the Jets winning 24, Tennessee 17.
Aaron Rodgers' first win as a Jet. I mean, technically it's his second, but the first win he plays a full game.
Full game, yeah.
Like I said, I expect the Jets to be one of the best teams in the AFC. Obviously, some learning bumps here and there. They haven't really played together.
Yeah.
But Will Levis, bro, what are you doing with the football? That's like back-to-back weeks where you make a absolutely careless mistake. If you want to be the quarterback for the Titans, you need to get your shit together fast.
I think the Jets are, that was one of my teams that I'm like, they're going to be good. Like, they're going to be solid. With Aaron Rodgers at the helm, they're going to be all right. Like, they may not be phenomenal now. One, he's old. So you got to give him some time to thaw out. He's getting over an injury on top of that. With new players, let them work some things out. By week 5, 8, they'll be solid. Yeah. So, I'm not even going to discuss what you're doing. San Fran versus Minnesota. Minnesota wins 23 to San Fran 17.
This started my weekend incredibly great. I was very happy about this because, as you know, I'm starting to hate the San Francisco 49ers.
Why?
They just they just bite more than they can chew.
What do you mean?
All that talk about us beating them in the conference championship, and then last year walking into the link wearing all black like a freaking redemption game, stupid. It was dumb. So they're trying to create something that's not there, and all they did was basically have our 2022 season last year. They got all the way, and then they choked. So how does that feel, San Francisco? Anyway, Brock Purdy is starting to show that he's human, that he's Mr. Irrelevant, in my opinion. Fun fact, actually, you know how I was telling you last year, the Eagles haven't beat the Seahawks in the last 9 games? The San Francisco 49ers have not won in Minnesota since 1992. Yeah, they were saying that during like the broadcast. They haven't won in Minnesota since 1992. So they lost last year.
Wow.
So when we did our game picks last year, I was like, well, they lost to Minnesota last year. So I don't know if it's just the team, the colors, the stadium, but they don't beat Minnesota in Minnesota, and they haven't since 1992. So
I think Sam Darnold is better than people gave him credit for.
he's playing lights out right now.
I thought he was going to be better than what they, like, I just don't think he had the team when they gave up on him. I think that was, he got, a rough deal.
Yeah, and shout out Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's
the best, bro. I don't know who. I keep going back and forth between him and Tyreek.
They asked him like, being that San Francisco had a defensive game plan against Garrett Wilson, how do you anticipate that they will that they'll try to like play D on you this week? He's like, respectfully, I'm not Garrett Wilson. I'm Justin Jefferson.
Facts.
And it's like he proved it.
Facts.
Yeah.
He does it every week.
Yeah.
No matter how you game plan, he still comes out.
He got 4 catches, 130 something.
Stop. In the first half.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the first half.
And then he got hurt, so he probably could have had more than that.
Bro, stop it. So anyway, I think Minnesota looks solid. San Francisco. The question is, are they like this because of the loss of CMC?
I mean, Jordan Mason has. I mean, I know. Obviously, I'm not trying to compare, but statistically, there hasn't been much of a drop off in the running back position.
In the running back game, running game.
Yeah.
But he's a threat,
of course,
pass wise as well.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of passes from the backfield.
And then I think there's. I feel like Brandon Ayuk, because of the whole contract thing, hasn't kind of came to himself yet. He had a drop catch touchdown.
Yeah.
That could have changed the game too. So, but then one thing too, San Francisco is dealing with a lot of injuries right now. CMC's out for at least 6 more weeks. Debo's out for a couple of weeks apparently. Rich Kittle has a tight hamstring. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't bug them, too much.
Bang bang, not our game. All right, next game. Seattle versus New England. Seattle wins 23 over New England's 20 in overtime.
I'm impressed with New England. I mean, I know it's early. Other than
and what sense? I asked you that.
But I mean, yeah, just the not greatest coach of all time, but one of the greatest coaches of all time, and
I think
Bill Belichick era.
Who's better than him?
I mean, yeah, I guess we could say that. I guess I would say at least he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest coach of all time. Bill Belichick post that era. They beat a good Bengals team on the road week 1, and then showed a lot of grit against a pesky Seattle team at home week 2. It took them to overtime. They ultimately lost, but they don't look as bad as people thought they would look until last night. But that's another.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. I think they need to hurry up and put in Drake
May. I don't know.
I don't get
Brissett starting.
I don't get Mayo's decisions, but whatever. It is what it is. The Toilet Bowl this week. New York Giants versus Washington Commanders.
I called my brother, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching the Giants and the Commanders right now on like Red Zone," and he was like, "Yeah, it's just always such a like weird and like trash game." I'm like, "Yeah, they're always tied at some bullshit score like 9-9 or like 13-13 or like 18-18." Fun fact though, you know how I said that Saquon had three touchdowns in week 1 and Giants had no touchdowns? Well, this week Giants had 3 touchdowns. The Commanders had no touchdowns, and they still lost.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine being a Giants fan again. Like shout out to my cousin Nata. It's not looking good for you, bro.
At all, man. You like those wet paper trash bag Giants? Those mini men? Some 50 Cent shit going on right now. This is crazy. But I'll say this. Jada didn't look horrible. Daniels looked better. But I think that's a game that I would not spend money on if I had Oprah money. Next game, Los Angeles Chargers versus Carolina. Chargers won 26 to Carolina's 3.
I know it's Carolina, but I'm telling you, Jim Harbaugh, I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, me too.
The Chargers look fresh. They look spry. They look extremely. I would say they look like a solid wild card contender Just like I called it. They have, and their defense is number 1 right now. They've allowed the fewest points in the league through 2 weeks. I mean, granted, you're playing against Bryce Young and the Panthers. Speaking of which, I know you think Bryce Young's not getting a fair shot with the Panthers, but I feel like you say that if you put like a CJ Stroud in that situation, that he would be the same way. I don't really agree with that. I just don't think Bryce Young has been able to prove himself. Like, for example, last week, Adam Thielen they showed him being open on 3 separate occasions, and Bryce Young.
So I was letting this asshole get his biker boy on. But what was he? Was he protected?
Yeah. Like he had, like it wasn't like he was being rushed or anything. He had time to throw the ball, and he's just not really finding the plays that need to be made.
So here's my thing. I think that Bryce Young is talented. I think that he was in a rough situation. I think that when you are running for your life daily, like you have you're shell shocked. You always feel like, even when you're like protected, you're like, I'm not protected. Someone's coming, right? So I think that that's a problem. I think they let go of Sam Darnold. He's balling. They let go of Baker. He's balling, right? And there was a question. I don't know what sports media outlet I saw, and they said, was Bryce Young the worst number 1 of all time? And I'm like, that's horrible, bro. Yeah. I don't even think that you could. This is what I don't understand. Bryce Young gets benched after 1 year. What has Trevor Lawrence done?
That's another one.
With talent. Bryce Young didn't have any talent last year. This is week 2 where he's getting the people that he needs without the protection, and you're benching your number 1 overall already. I understand he's not doing what you thought immediately. But I'll say this for Stroud. Stroud has never been in the situation that Bryce has been in. He's had something. Even with the head coach, the defense, you know what I mean? Do I think that I think Stroud is phenomenal right now. I think that he could be MVP. So he's definitely better right now. But I think that he's just Bryce has gotten a raw deal, personally. But
I don't necessarily agree with him being benched. I feel like you should give him more time to continue to grow and to develop. But we'll see now with Andy Dalton. I mean, he's been a veteran quarterback, a solid backup for a lot of teams. So we'll see if it's the same under Andy Dalton, then do you give the helm back to Bryce? Or if Andy Dalton performs, then it was a Bryce Young problem.
Yeah, facts. I mean? And let him sit. Let him sit and do what you need to do. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, it's Cleveland versus Jacksonville, with Cleveland winning 18 to Jacksonville's 13.
I thought Deshaun Watson looked more like an actual quarterback this game, at least. The Browns defense had a chance to actually play defense this game, so they were solid. Trevor Lawrence, though, to me, just made too many mistakes. He's not making the right play. It's so funny. Like, when I watch him play, he looks like a quarterback I would want. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, he looks like just like a traditional, solid, tall,
your prototypical quarterback.
And then when he makes his throws that are solid, the throws are solid. It's like, but then it's like he does something else where it's like, you just completely it's like they'll be up and then he'll do something that completely just absolutely cost the game. But I don't know. I feel bad for Peterson. I feel like Peterson's a good coach. I feel like Jacksonville has enough talent on offense to score points, more than 13 points a game. So you gotta start looking at Trevor Lawrence like he's not really it.
That's all I'm saying. I don't know what to tell you. It is, hey, calm down. We got stuff to talk about. Sorry about that. Hey, but he said it all. I don't really have much to say about that. Las Vegas versus Baltimore. Vegas wins 26. Baltimore 23.
Yeah, this is one of the games that made me feel better about my weekend because it's like the Ravens are expected to be a top 5 team, not just in the AFC but in the NFL as a whole. And they've dropped to 0-2, but the way they dropped this game, it was really bad. Like, to let a team like Vegas come back, I mean, no shade to Vegas, but Vegas has just been known to just not be great. But to let a team like Vegas come back when you have the game in hand, you're up by, they were up by 9 or 10 points in the fourth quarter. This is my knock, and say it again, this is my knock with Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? I get it. You have Derrick Henry, hand the ball off to like Derrick Henry, like burn some clock. Like, I just don't understand why Lamar Jackson has had an issue closing games, and even if you go back to last year, right, the game they had against Miami when they're up by 3 touchdowns, Lamar couldn't close that game. To me, he just has an issue closing games when they're tight. But
here's the question:
to me, otherwise,
you're up how much?
They were up like 9 or 10 in the
Why
fourth.
Why not run all game?
That's why I said.
But I'm saying
you have Derrick Henry for that reason. They didn't even.
That can't be. To me, that's not and it's not knocking. Lamar still has blame, but to me, that's even more on the coach. Like, why not just run that? Let him run all day, and then put in Hill. You got 2 running backs that can do it.
Like, you know what I haven't seen from a team like Baltimore is what I see from Kansas City, and even Philly. Like, when they get the ball back with 6 or 7 minutes left, like they drain the entire clock. Like there's teams like Kansas City and teams like Philly, like they drain that clock. Like if we get the ball back, we drain that clock.
That's smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it seems like the Ravens go 3 and out. It's like, wait, what?
Well,
like
why would you?
It's like, it doesn't. I don't really understand that. But I'm props to Vegas. Props to Gardner Minshew, his boy. Devontae Adams doesn't have to be a freaking diva this week.
Give him a run game, bro. You'll see what I told you. Gardner is solid. I think he was disrespected. I think he was really disrespected no matter where he went. You benched him for Anthony Richardson. How's that working out for you? And I think he's a good player. Yeah. But we'll see. Next game, the Rams versus Arizona. Ooh, Rams won 41 to Cardinals won. Sorry, the Cardinals win 41 to the Rams 10.
This is your NFL moment, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Hello,
welcome to the league.
Welcome to the show, son.
Man, Kyler Murray looked like his first year and a half. That was a great game.
That was a better Kyler. Yeah. Like when he's like, "Oh, this is not my job." I'm like, "Bro, if you go to him, it helps you so much."
Yeah, 100%. Marvin Harrison looks like he's gonna be top
player, bro.
The Rams, I will say, the Rams are very depleted right now. I mean, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. You don't have nobody to throw to on offense now. It's like,
what's happening with Blake? Is he not gonna play?
I guess they really like Kyron Williams.
That's cool, but like
Blake Corum's not even. I think he's like a 3rd string at this point.
Bro, you don't get in at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why would you do that? Yeah. Well, I don't. That's something I don't understand.
Should have gotten drafted by the Chargers to go play with his old coach.
Yeah,
but
nice.
I mean, Stafford can only do so much. Yeah. That defense without Aaron Donald, you can see it. They miss him a lot. But yeah.
Pittsburgh versus Denver. Pittsburgh wins 13, Denver 6. It's my other guy I called.
Pittsburgh's defense, T.J. Watt.
Defensive player of the year.
Bro.
The best player I've seen in the past 5 years.
Pittsburgh offensively has only put up 31 points in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But defensively, if they're only allowing like 6 points a game, and that's all they need. T.J. Watt is just absolutely incredible.
Fields is 2-0. How you like that, Chicago fans?
Yeah.
Eat that. Here's my thing. I think that they don't have enough offensive weapons for him again, which is in the same spot. Pickens, to me, is one of the best players without the right team.
I'm interested to see when Russ comes back if Pickens' game is going to take another step. I really hope Russ, aside from being a quarterback, I think Russ has been treated unfairly the past few seasons.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm not trying to defend his poor play, but he's a Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of accomplishments. I think he's a solid quarterback on a solid team. I'm not, like I said, I think he's had some poor play, but I feel like we're kind of forgetting who he's been in this league. So hopefully he has a chance to show it in Pittsburgh. Now they're 2-0, and they're saying that they might just keep running with Fields. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Would you bench the 2-0? I'm not saying that I
mean, if they were 2-0 and it was like they won by a wide margin and scored 30 points both games, no, but they haven't even really. They've only scored 1 touchdown in 2 weeks. So it's like, because of that, I would still consider bringing in Russ. That's the way that I'm thinking about it.
I mean,
2-0 is 2-0.
That's valid. That's valid, though. Because it's like one of those things where I get that they're not scoring a lot of points, but like, are they rallying? Are they rallying behind him?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
how does the morale of the team fit with Russ opposed to Justin?
Yeah.
And I look at like who's the other outside of him, outside of Pickens, who's the other receiver?
Deontay Johnson.
Is he? No. You know, and then Najee to me was good in college, but I don't see a top back in Najee right now.
No.
You know, was Warren the other guy? I think I would probably use him a little more. So I don't know. Bo did look great. So it is what it is. Cincinnati versus Kansas City. Kansas City wins 26 to Cincinnati's 25. Say it before I say it.
Another game that made me feel like teams are just not where they're supposed to be right now. But Kansas City is 2 plays away from being 0-2. 2 plays away. And in my humble opinion, I told him this on the phone. I'm going to say it though, Stephen A. Smith said it. In the Cowboys fashion, what can go wrong will go wrong. The Chiefs are looking like the Patriots where what can go right will go right for them. And it's really starting to piss me off.
Well, it's easy. If you pay the refs enough, you're going to get the calls. At the end of the game, there was a pass interference that should not have been called because the defender and the receiver went up for the ball.
Yeah.
So the defender has as much right to the ball as possible. If he pushed the defender down or if he did something to move him out the way,
interference.
Because if the receiver did that, it would have not been called.
I mean, if you want to get technical, if the defender would have jumped in a more vertical manner.
But why would you do that?
Which I totally agree, but that's where they made the call. Like before that ball even got to that point, his body like hit the receiver, and I think that's why they called it. I've seen worse calls though. I've seen worse calls, but I don't agree with it in that particular moment of the game.
Exactly, that's my point. Yeah, in that part of the game,
like the holding call in the Super Bowl on Bradbury.
It could. Are we gonna live in the past? That is going to hurt the game because that would have changed the ending of the game completely. But it is what it is. Pat Mahomes is already amazing. He's a legend. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
He's also not playing that great, though. He already has 3 picks from the year. Travis Kelce doesn't look good. Like, get off Taylor Swift. Like, bro, stop showing Taylor Swift hug people after every time he catches a ball.
Come on, man.
It's so cringe.
You know what that is.
That's cringe, bro.
You know what that is.
It's cringe.
It's a marketing thing.
Stupid.
They know that Taylor Swift is bringing people to the NFL, so they're going to keep showing her.
It's not even. I think I'm past her being shown. It's just like her reactions to plays, like normal plays.
Yeah. How fake, how wacky.
Like, shut up, bro. Like.
Man, come on, man. You're going to hurt the Swifties out there. All right, Chicago versus Houston. Houston won 19, Chicago's 13.
Sorry, I just got my nails painted.
I was like, what is he doing? Get out of here.
Caleb Williams look, the kid is talented. Can't take that away from him. Yeah, but his attitude is full of bitch-assness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the amount of pussification coming out of that man's pores is really starting to fucking bother me.
But
honestly,
that is what I had a problem with during draft. Like, when I saw your attitude at USC, I was like, is he going to bring an attitude that people are going to rally behind at the professional level? These are grown men. Kids, mortgages. They're like, they don't care about all this TikTok crap. Are they going to be able to be like, yo, this is somebody I can rally behind? Like, they're almost like, I've seen DJ Moore's attitude on the sideline, and he's getting fed up.
Yeah.
He is getting fed up. And my thing is, you're doing this with a more talented Bears team than Justin Fields had.
Yeah.
More protection and more talent on the... Even though Allen was out.
Yeah.
You still got DJ, and you still got Adunze.
Yeah.
And you got Roshan Johnson, and you got, Swift.
And I like their tight end's not bad. Komet's not
bad.
Komet
is nice. Yeah. But Komet was there last year, so I'll give him that. But I'm saying, Stroud is legit. And Caleb is just a rookie. He's going through what all rookies.
He played better than week 1, though. I'll give him that. He looked more like a lot more comfortable than in week 1.
Yeah.
The Texans, though, like I said, one of the teams that I thought was going to be like a world beater, pretty much out the gate. They're not too far off from being 0-2 themselves too. All these teams that we expect to be great all look kind of okay right now. But it's only week 2, so we'll know more in the next few weeks here who's going to be who.
All right. Well, our teams: New Orleans versus Dallas. New Orleans killed Dallas 44 to Dallas's 19.
Yeah, it was an amazing way to start my weekend. I was feeling great. Everything, San Francisco lost and Dallas got their brakes blown off. It was great. It was absolutely a great football Sunday for me. I don't know. I haven't pegged New Orleans yet, man. I just, that roster, they're not that young. They're not that talented. I thought that week 1 was a fluke because they played against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But then playing against Dallas and supposedly that great defense to hang 35 by halftime was like, oh, New Orleans is good. But yeah, I think the Cowboys offense has become one-dimensional. I feel like they're not using Brandon Cooks enough. I feel like they're not using... The running back by committee doesn't really work here. I just feel like it's a bunch of, Dowdle, I don't think really has any talent. Ezekiel Elliott's past his prime. And who's the 30 I was using this week? It wasn't...
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn I like. Deuce Vaughn reminds me of a Darren Sproles. Short, very, very speedy. I don't know why they don't, explore that option more, with a screen or something. They didn't play. They played without Ferguson this week, right?
Yep.
So that was a huge loss on offense. CD, thank you for the points that are needed to have in fantasy. But other than that, you were also non-efficient. Other than that, for that one big play, Dak 2 more picks. The first one wasn't really. I'll give him that. The first one wasn't really on him.
Which one?
The one where I forgot who tripped, but it was
Oh,
gonna hit him in his face.
yeah,
So I'm not gonna put that one on him. But the
him.
second one was on him for sure. But yeah, good day to be a Cowboys hater.
Now that we're through that bullshit, I think they call it, I'm going to talk about what I believe. I said that we were going to go 7-10. And you thought I was just trying to be funny. And you thought I was trying to do reverse psychology stuff. I meant what I said. If I have confidence in my team, I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to call it what I see. Well, let's start with the defense first. First I'm going to give hats off to New Orleans. Y'all had a tremendous game, and y'all really humbled Dallas defense. I think defense, I was more excited about the defense than I should have been. I think that we don't have great schemes. I think that we are weak in the trenches. We need to be, bigger and tougher, meaner on the defensive line. Linebackers need to be a little bit more stout, and I've been asking for a safety for a decade at least. So that's that. With that being said, I don't know how good their offense is. New Orleans. I don't know, because the Panthers ain't trash. They're trash. Dallas, we can arguably be trash. I don't know yet. I said third week is going to be when I could really tell, give you an accurate assessment.
You'll know this week because both of them are going to be playing desperate.
Exactly. So that's that. The defense we may be just a mid-level, but I think we could be top tier. We're going to get Bland back, so hopefully that makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, Devontae Smith's son. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So, offensively, I said that we were trash, and I meant that we were trash, and we are trash. We had one touchdown. Dak got $60 million a year.
62.5.
Right? I didn't even need that 2.5. I was already disgusted. He's got $60 million a year, and everybody keeps saying, Anthony, you're a hater. Anthony, he's a good quarterback. Who else are we going to get? Blah, 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 blah. If you're good, you would score more than one touchdown. And if it wasn't for CD breaking or a bad play by Tyrann Mathieu, if he weren't breaking for 65 yards, we would have 0 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had 2 interceptions. I'll give you that one. So you had 2 interceptions and 1 fumble. You had 3 turnovers. Well, 2 turnovers, 1 potential. What are we missing? I keep saying he's not even a top 10 quarterback. I keep saying that. Nobody's believing me. This is against the Saints. You can't score more than 1 touchdown outside of a breaking play. Okay, running game. I'm glad that we didn't get Derrick Henry for $10 million because that's too damn expensive. We let go of Tony Pollard, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. We didn't go after D.K. Dobbins, who's leading the lead in rushing. We didn't go after Josh Jacobs, who had 151 last year. let's re-sign old man Dak. You know how many yards he had this year? Or this week? It wasn't sweet, but it was 16. He had 16 yards rushing. What are we doing?
You talking about Zeke? You said Dak again.
I hate Dak. I hate him so much he's got real estate.
Yeah.
But Zeke has 16 yards. That's not going to get it done, bro. I get it. Jerry's trying to get a whole bunch of people in the stands. And if you a real Dallas Cowboy fan, you would stop supporting this circus. Stop going to the games, right? Stop watching. Stop it. If you're not, I can't say stop watching. You can watch the trash. But stop going to the games. Don't even show up because it's horrible. CD was okay. That's it. That's it. It is what it is. Dowdle's not the guy. Zeke's not the guy. I would like you said, I would like to see more Deuce, but it is what it is. So I'm not surprised, to be honest, though. I told you it was going to be a trash season. So next week we got somebody that's hungry. Anyway, the Monday night game, Atlanta versus Philadelphia. Atlanta won. Atlanta won 22 to Philadelphia's 21. That was a close game.
Yeah, so it all came crashing down for me. It just ruined my weekend. I didn't care that the Cowboys lost. I didn't care that the freaking Niners lost. It just ruined the whole weekend for me. Jalen Hurts' legs came back. He looked very, very sharp. I just found out he has a perfect passer rating against the blitz this year so far through 2 weeks. That was his biggest flaw. So that's an improvement. He's got more passing yards than Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow right now. So I'm just trying to throw, small little facts out there for my guy over here because he's such a Jalen Hurts hater.
Okay.
21 points without A.J. Brown, and I believe we left a touchdown and another field goal on the board. The first drive when we tried going for it on a 4th and 3 on the Atlanta 4, and we didn't convert it. That could have been a possible touchdown. So we could have potentially scored at least 28 points even without having our star wide receiver in A.J. Brown. So I thought offensively they could have looked better for sure, but I don't think they looked bad. I feel like the ball didn't really move to like Jahan Dawson. I don't know if that was just because he's not used to the offense yet or he's only been there for 3 weeks. I thought Saquon had a solid game on the ground. I feel like we played a decent game. Like Atlanta scored that touchdown in like the very last minute. Coverage-wise, now our defense has always been known to be solid up front and kind of weak in the back. It seems like it's like flipped. I feel like coverage-wise, like quarterbacks have for example, last week, Jordan Love had it seemed like 8 to 10 seconds to just freaking sit back there in the pocket, but nothing was open. This week, Kirk Cousins had 8 seconds to sit back there in the pocket, but nothing was open. So coverage-wise, it looks great. But when you give a quarterback that much time with no pressure, somebody's bound to eventually, be able to get freaking open. The defensive line has put in no pressure. Jordan Davis, to me, is starting to, I don't want to use the word bust, but it's starting to feel like that. Like, he's not, run defense, he's a factor, but he's putting no pressures on the quarterback at all. At all.
That's why Jalen Carter was rated higher than he was at Georgia. And I
think missing Fletcher Cox, even though he was older, Fletcher Cox was able to push that line back. You know what I mean? Brandon Graham, to me, I feel like is our best pass rusher right now because Jalen Carter is just getting doubled. You know what I mean? Boy, do I miss Reddick a lot. I think Bryce Huff is a massive downgrade so far. He has 0 tackles, 0 hits, 0 pressures, 0 sacks, and he wears number 0. So if Howie can somehow get Hassan Reddick to hey, come back and play another year a minimum, and we'll pay you later, because Bryce Huff is not. I'm very, very mad about him. Nolan Smith is not getting the reps I thought he would get. I thought he looked better in the preseason, but apparently they don't really agree.
I'll get that.
But yeah, I feel like the secondary until freaking Slay got cooked on that last drive by Drake London.
It's just a good route, man.
But
he definitely got cooked.
Yeah, but the secondary to me, I feel like in coverage, like I said, I haven't seen the Eagles play this one coverage in years. But again, when you give a quarterback that much time without pressure, somebody is bound to get open. So, thought it was a solid game. And so that very end, so let's go back to that play. It's 3rd and 3. And if we want to talk about the play, you caught the defense off guard. If it would have worked, it would have been a great play. That's how this league works, right? But you have a 3rd and 3, and you have Saquon Barkley averaging 5 yards a carry the whole game, okay? We have best offensive line in football, if not top 2, top 3 at the very worst. And we're averaging 4.8 yards a carry with either Gainwell and then 5.2 with Saquon. You run the ball on 3rd and 3. Atlanta is down to no timeouts. There's 1:46 left, right? You run the ball. Let's say he gains at least 1.5 yards, 2 yards. What's our specialty? So if we can close the game out on a 4th and 1, we could have just closed the game out. We didn't need to go for the heroics. We got too cute, which was your whole thing where if we can kill him more. I think the play call was cute, but the decision was from Nick Sirianni. I feel like how Dan Campbell makes the choice to go for it on 4th down over and over again, Nick Sirianni does too. You were very aggressive in the first quarter, and then you're conservative in the 3rd quarter, and then you're aggressive again in the 4th quarter trying to close out the game. Make it make sense. It just didn't make sense for me. We didn't take the points. We could have been up by 9 points at that time, so we didn't even. All we had to do was, then we could have then kicked a field goal to be up 24-15, right? If you would have taken the 3 points in the first half, so we didn't even need to be in that freaking situation. So that's why that loss bothered me so much. Anyway, so Saquon drops the ball. I'm not gonna give him a pass on that. That we're paying you $12.5 million a year to make plays like that. But whatever. I'm not going to blame Jalen too much, Saquon too much, as I'm going to blame coaching, because I feel like coaching put us in a bad spot, and we should never been in that position. And then we kick the field goal. Atlanta has 1:46 left, right? And why are you playing prevent? Stop playing prevent defense. There's 1:46 left. They have time. They don't have to throw 20 yards down the field. They can just methodically move the ball downfield, and that's what they did. Once they got down there, Drake London cooked Darius Slay, and then that was a wrap. Still 34 seconds left. We had a chance, right? The first pass to Goddard, great throw, great catch, great play. Mm-hmm. 26 seconds left, 1 timeout left. We're 15 yards from Jake Elliott range. 15 more yards. Next play call, 35-yard pass down to the corner to try to freaking hit Devontae Smith. I understand trying to make the field goal easier, but for Jake Elliott, he's one of the, I think, top 2 kickers in the league. You don't need to make it easier for him. Just get the 15 fucking yards. Just get the 15 fucking yards.
But what happened when...
You know what I mean?
What happened when you tried to go to Devontae Smith?
The ball was picked off. But I don't even think... One, Jalen was pressured. 2, Devontae Smith, if he doesn't get nudged, he could have at least... in my opinion, he could have at least made a play on the ball. You know what I mean? I know you want to put that on Hurts really bad. I know you were fucking dying to do that shit. But again, the situation that we were put in, that's why I don't put it on Hurts at all. The Eagles should have closed this game well before that whole shit happened. Right before Slay got cooked, before Jalen made the interception. It was a perfect game up until that point. That's why I'm so mad about it, because people like this guy now want to make it seem like, oh, you see what Jalen Hurts did? You see what he did again? No, that's not what happened. We lost before that.
You did?
Yes, we lost before that.
Okay.
100%. I'm right, you're wrong, like always.
Okay. So, now that we've gotten through that, I'm going to tell you my perspective. The Eagles lost, okay? Let's just get that out there. They played a solid game. I think Jalen had one of his better. He played better this game than he did last game. With that being said, it still wasn't impressive. In the air, in the ground, he looked like the Jalen of old. But that's never been a concern of mine. He's always been great with his legs. At Bama, at OU, when he came into the starting position, that was his bread and butter, running. So he threw for 183 yards. against this Atlanta team. It's not really impressive to me. For you to be a top guy that's getting $50 million a year, it's not really impressive. Because I don't really know Atlanta's defense to be a top defense yet. Because they lost to a team that can't score.
There's a lot of rushing yards in there though, from Saquon and Jalen.
But I said he can run with his legs, right?
It was a balanced offense, not like a freaking 45-50 attempt pass like it was in Dallas. Like
right.
you say,
I said he ran, right? I
just
just told you.
Trying to throw shade, bro.
I just said he threw. I said throwing is what he. I'll put it like this.
He can't help it.
He threw 30 times and he got 183. That's 6.1 yards a pass.
It's 23 out of 30. That's efficient.
You should be 5 yards a pass.
Not 20 out of 50 with
5 yards a pass. It's not impressive. You can do that in junior high. That's something that I typically see at Pop Warner. You know, guys that get orange slices after the game. I'll put it like this. Jalen Hurts averaged more per rush than he did per pass. You don't like stats when it comes to that, though. That's not. We ain't gonna talk about that.
He threw for 352 in the Super Bowl. You want to talk about that?
Are we gonna live in the past? Because the Dallas Cowboy fans always get heat for living in the past. Well, that's something that we always get heat
different
for.
Circumstances, but
pass, ass. But the interception is on him, simply because he didn't have to make that throw.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
So it's not that it's on him. He just didn't help it. You get what I'm saying? If you throw that ball away, you still got opportunity. You got timeouts, and you got Jalen Hurts.
It's the playmaker in him. That's what it is. That's the problem with players like him and Josh Allen. That no matter what it is, they just want to make the play, and it bites them in the ass.
We'll see if he still has the same tone later in the season. Jalen Hurts without A.J. Brown is Clark Kent, and I've said this.
Bro, we could have scored 28 points, bro. We left points on the board. Like 28 points without A.J. Brown? Are you kidding me? Wait. Would you agree that 28 points without A.J. Brown would have been good? Would you not agree with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? What
am I talking about?
I'm asking you, would 28 points without A.J. Brown have been good?
It depends. Are we getting it on the ground with Saquon, or are we getting it in the air with him? Who's scoring?
Go ahead. Finish your point, bro.
So my point is, the Eagles are an average offense without Lane, Kelsey, and A.J. Brown. Not because they don't have talent. They have phenomenal talent. Like, Devontae Smith is impressing me week in and week out. I didn't think he was going to be this good at this level because I thought he was going to be too small. But no.
What's Mahomes without Kelsey? Like, what happened last year in week 1? It's like, that's such a tired argument, bro. That's such a tired argument. Players, it's a team game. Nobody does anything by themselves. Just like Jordan needed Pippen, LeBron needed Wade. Nobody wins by themselves. Nobody. I'm trying
to air out all this emotion that's kind of clouding my talk.
It's a tired argument. Your hate for Hurts is ridiculous.
I let him talk. I let him talk for a good 30 minutes. He gave his sermon. We about to pass collection plate and all. But when I talk about his buddy, you know, I fairly guys play pickup in the back and backyard and after school. I'm sorry I talked about him. Okay, but that's just my opinion. I just don't think that he's that guy. I don't think that he's that guy, talent-wise. In the air, like as a quarterback, can he run? Yeah, but quarterback's primary job is to pass.
Oh, he can throw the football. You're crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, Odell can throw a football, but is he a quarterback? Anyway, we stayed on this way too long anyway.
Yeah.
He's had, look, I will say this, the improvement from him, he only had 1 turnover.
Yeah.
That's an improvement. Is that not an improvement?
Sure,
I think that's great. I think that he has a bright future ahead of him. So we're just gonna go. That's my case. I don't know how. I'll say that. I'll wrap it up by saying I don't know how good Atlanta is. We'll see. But the Eagles.
We did pick them to win the NFC South. Both of us. We did pick Atlanta to win the NFC South. Not saying we should have lost to them, but we did think they were going to be decent.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
all of a sudden he wants to get on Facebook. Oh, to the Falcons, to the dirt. Like, bro, he's a hater.
Okay, let's talk about that because I feel like the refs are terrible in Philly.
Oh my, bro!
we're gonna. Can I? Oh.
I was hoping you didn't bring that up because you're gonna lose our argument. You're gonna lose our argument. Go ahead, bring it up.
Okay.
You can lose our argument. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Are you gonna let me talk?
Go
Do you
ahead.
wanna? Okay.
Go ahead.
I believe that the refs are horrible in Philly. They've been horrible in Philly. It's a consistent thing that I've seen. Just like I feel like they are in Kansas City. And I don't understand the flag on Drake London at all. It wasn't aimed at anybody. It wasn't derogatory. He had a victorious moment, a game-winning touchdown. And they tried to make the point after touchdown difficult because guess what? If he misses that field goal because you moved it back, it's a tie game. We go into overtime. I don't understand the CJ helmet issue. I understand. It was loose. Okay, it is. But if your hand assists, even with passion and intensity, I get it. Things may happen. Yeah, it came off. Let me put it back on. He did not do that. He pushed his helmet, assisted, got up and kept running down the field.
It's a big play.
Huge play. But that doesn't mean that you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the rule. So, with that being said, I think that the refs are a little bit favorable for Philadelphia, no matter how we slice it.
Yeah.
You know, the 3 penalties for Atlanta and the 9 against Philly, it's not going to be a great point because it could have been more. It should have been more against Philly. But they're not going to get called. So, I will say this. The refs are horrible in Philly. And if I'm wrong and you play at Philly, you let us know how your team fared in terms of calls made while being there. Sure. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah. Speaking of no matter how you slice it, he's cutting pizzas in circles right now.
Pizzas are in circles.
The penalty that he's talking about.
Which one?
Where Drake London freaking sprayed gun in the air. Blame the Democrats for that one. That had nothing to do with anything. I'm a fan of people doing whatever they want to freaking celebrate. That's fine with me. Taking emotion out of the game is such a travesty to me. It should not be allowed. I don't agree with that penalty. But was it a penalty according to what they're trying to watch?
When have they ever said? I haven't heard it.
Thank John Moran for that. I'm telling you, bro.
No. But when has it been said that is a penalty?
You can't do the act of like freaking stabbing somebody, like they're freaking doing this anymore. Like that's been around for like 2-3 years.
Right.
Now.
He didn't do that.
But he's shooting a gun. I don't care.
Shooting a gun where?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does.
Okay.
Where did he shoot it?
At the crowd. That's even worse than.
No. He shot it in the air.
He's shooting a gun. I'm telling you what they're being strict on now. That's what they're doing.
But who said this? Did you come up with this? Or did they make a statement saying in the rules you cannot celebrate by using any gun?
You cannot weaponize or do any act of violence. Yes. You can't do any of that. Look it up.
Act of violence?
But you're shooting a gun.
What if he's shooting birds in the air?
Maybe, but
when have they said that's a flag?
I'm not faulting Drake London for showing emotion. That was a big time play and a big time moment. I think those flags are mad pussy. I totally get it. I don't agree with those flags. It's soft. Taking emotion out of the game, even if you're taking the helmet off, like bro, a man just stopped somebody on 4th and 9.
I disagree with. I don't like that penalty, but that is a rule.
Right, I understand. What I'm saying is taking emotion out of the game is not fair. Like people are playing a competitive sport. When they make a big play, just let them show out. Whatever it is, what it is. Like taunting to me is so soft.
I get taunting to a degree. Like I don't want you to be in nobody's face. So that's what when we talked about it. When we talked about LSU's guy getting flagged.
Like don't throw the ball back at me. Like
right,
I get it. Yeah.
Like the dude, he came to the dude's face.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Like you doing too much.
But showing emotion by yourself shouldn't be penalized.
I agree with that.
Like it just shouldn't. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're by yourself or with your team, it shouldn't be considered excessive, taunting, none of that. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Luckily for the Falcons, that penalty didn't make a difference because Younghoe Koo is a great kicker. And then the penalty difference was we got caught for 9, they got caught for 3 the whole game. So I don't know what advantage teams don't have in Philly. Like, if you say that the refs tend to freaking favor the Eagles more in Philly, then why was it such a drastic advantage in Atlanta's favor? We got caught for 9, they got caught for 3.
I made that point last year against Miami, but you said that was just null and void. When they had 10 against Miami,
we were just a better team than Miami. That's all it was.
But they had 10. Miami had 10 penalties, and Philly had 0.
We didn't make any penalties.
Exactly. I didn't say it's gonna be. I'm not gonna argue about shit. I'm not gonna argue with that. That makes no sense, right? So we're gonna go to our quick picks. All right, Thursday night.
Cowboys lead the league in penalties every year. That's why he's so emotional.
That's definitely a fact. I don't care about that. They have New England versus New York. We're not gonna talk about it because we just had the game.
I'm gonna pick the Jets, 24-3.
That's hilarious. First game Sunday. We have New York Giants versus Cleveland.
You know what? I'm going with the Giants, man. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I never like trash. I'm going with Cleveland, as though they look like shit. Green Bay versus Tennessee.
If Jordan Love comes back, which I really don't think he should. Will Levis to me, I don't trust him. I'm going Green Bay.
I don't trust Will either. Man, I'm gonna go Green Bay. I just think that hopefully Josh Jacobs continues to stay hot. Chicago Bears versus Indianapolis. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go Indianapolis.
I just don't trust Anthony Richardson.
I just feel like the Colts play better at home though.
Maybe, but I think that I just feel like Caleb's gonna start coming into his own. Hopefully, he has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. Houston at Minnesota.
This is an interesting game.
It really is.
Is Justin Jefferson healthy?
I don't know.
When he got hurt last week?
I don't know.
Let's go Houston.
I'm gonna go Minnesota. They're at home. Houston has been lights out, but they've been, kind of iffy. They haven't been as dominant as I thought they were going to be. Philly at New Orleans.
Yeah, we don't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He got hurt in practice this week.
He did?
Yeah, we don't have A.J. Brown again. Unless we're able to keep the Saints off the field and we can have a good rushing attack the whole game. I want to have the hope that we're going to catch the Saints off guard, off of their high from beating Dallas last week. We should be playing desperate football. It should be a closer game, but I'm going to go with the Saints, unfortunately.
I'm going to go with the Saints. It's quicker for me. But I think that Philly's the better team at this point. They're the better team. They're just not going to be that better team this week. Right. I think that's the case. And then New Orleans is at home. If it was in Philly, I'm picking Philly. Yeah. But at New Orleans, and then they're high. They got the fans. Yeah, baby. All that stuff. Yeah, it's going to be tough. The Chargers at Pittsburgh. Ooh.
Jim Harbaugh or T.J. Watt. That's my criteria. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go Chargers. I just think that they're kind of hot right now, and I don't know how Justin hasn't shown me a lot offensively, so I don't know. But the defense is a fool. Yeah. Denver at Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Damn,
they're gonna be 3-0. Sheesh.
Carolina at Vegas. Ooh.
Vegas. Ooh, Vegas will have to be 2-1.
Vegas. Minshew. Miami at Seattle. Seattle. I'm not even. What are we doing? Ooh, we'll save it. San Francisco at. No, we're not. Baltimore at Dallas.
Oh, man. Both teams are going to be playing desperate, but I think one's going to play more desperate than the other, and that's the one that's not going to try to go down 0-3. I'm going to pick Baltimore.
I'm going to pick Baltimore as well. I just feel like they got. No, I mean, they got Derrick Henry. They got a better, offense.
It should be a better. I mean, Dallas is going to play a lot more alert this game, though. They're not going to get blown out again, for sure. I
just haven't seen anything from their offense to make me be impressed.
They're going to play desperate, though. Both teams are going to be desperate 100%.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all, but I have no faith in them. San Francisco at Los Angeles Rams.
This is like the minor leagues for both teams because they got a lot of players hurt for both teams. It's ridiculous. No Kittle, no Debo, no Christian McCaffrey, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. It's like, who the fuck's playing this game? But San Francisco.
San Francisco easy. The Rams have nobody. Like at least they got Fred Warner still and Bosa. Like they're gonna be all right. Detroit at Arizona. Ooh.
Detroit's dropping to 1-2. I'm picking Arizona.
I'm picking Arizona too. I think they've been hot. Kansas City at Atlanta. What are we doing?
Cause my bad. Going back to Arizona. Cause even week 1 they could have beat the Bills.
They could have. So, they were winning.
Yeah. KC Atlanta. If Atlanta would have lost to us last week, I would have given KC a clear shot. But I think it's going to be a more competitive game because KC doesn't even look that good right now. But I'm not going to bet Mahomes against Kirk Cousins. I mean, the other way around. So I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes.
Pat, easy. I'm going Kansas City. They're going to figure some things out. I just don't like going against Pat. Monday night, we got Jacksonville at Buffalo. Buffalo, easy. Washington at Cincinnati. Cincinnati, it's easy too. So, I don't know, man. I don't feel confident about the Dallas Cowboys game.
I don't feel confident about the Eagles this week either. So it'll be another somber episode next week for both of us.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just.
They got a better chance than we do, but I don't know.
Why,
bro? Because I thought the Saints were going to be the Aints, but I mean,
too.
Scoring 91 points in the NFL in 2 weeks is not easy. But I don't know.
They did do it against
Carolina,
Dallas.
But Dallas is supposed to be a really good defense. So to me, that's impressive.
But do you think that our defense is that good, or just Cleveland was that bad week 1? Because Washington still doesn't look phenomenal. They didn't have a great run game.
I mean, I think you have enough players on defense from last year that you should still be considered. Oh, actually, I found this out. Mike Zimmer, was it against Derek Carr or against the Saints? It's something about Mike Zimmer and the Saints, or Mike Zimmer and Derek Carr, where like he's gotten like torched by them every time. I forgot. I saw it somewhere, but it was either Derek Carr or it was the Saints. Like Mike Zimmer against the Saints just hasn't like worked out. Yeah, when he was with the Vikings, he was like 0-4 against the Saints, something like that.
I'll say this: I'm ready for him to be fired, and I'm ready to get Bill Belichick if they allow it.
Belichick's going to Philly when we fucking fire Sirianni next year. Jerry Jones doesn't like prosperity. He likes money, so he's not gonna.
He doesn't like prosperity in the win column. He likes it in the bank.
He's not gonna go after Belichick. We're gonna get Belichick next year. That's what you don't
Dallas.
want.
Man, think about all the legendary coaches that have been in Dallas.
Jim Johnson and Bill Parcells.
Yep.
That's it.
What about Tom?
Tom who?
He doesn't know history. That's why I don't argue.
Oh yeah. Whatever, man.
That's why I don't argue with. He's a baby.
We're talking
He's
about.
18.
We're talking about.
I don't.
We're talking about before Christ times. No, we're not. We're not talking about
who are
that.
legendary Philly coaches?
Andy Reid.
Okay. That's quick. That was almost woo, well on record. Man, come join this elite team, man. You know what I mean? This is the franchise. It's just phenomenal in every aspect.
No, it's not. It's quite nauseating.
Location, color, you know, rings, just legacy. It's just better. But it is what it is. If you want to go to this Oscar green ass team, do what you want to do. But
yeah.
This has been the Crow and Oso show. We're gonna wrap it up and say, I guess we'll see y'all next week. Neither one of us are really excited about it, but you know, we'll figure some things out. We'll see how it turns out. But say what you gotta say.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
God dang! It took the air out of my man. He didn't even do the point anymore. It was yeah. If you watch this, you watch this. It is what it is, man. We'll see y'all next week, brother.
How many games you watched Coach Tom coach the Cowboys for?
How many games did I watch them coach?
Yeah, how many games did you?
None.
That's what I'm saying. So that's just.
Is he holding on to that?
Irrelevant point.
I just asked legendary
just
coaches.
Like Cowboys bring up irrelevant things
No.
all the time.
I will go back to the start of Eagledom. Who
You
and
like
post before Andy Reid. Let's talk about it.
Might as well mention like Vince Lombardi for the Packers. Like this.
Yeah, I mean you can. That's a legendary coach. I would say that if I was using that to bring in Bill Parcells.
I like to keep it to our lifetime. I would say it's just
But that's not the history of the franchise.
Like for example,
that's your history with the franchise.
For example,
okay.
Do you want like if I was to have kids right now, would I want them to represent the Super Bowl we won in 2018?
What do you mean?
Like, would I want my kids to gloat about that? I don't even have kids yet. But I want, with my kids, because I want to raise them to be good citizens, and by being a good citizen, they're going to be a diehard Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Would I want them to gloat about, let's say but hopefully not, but we still have one ring by then, right? Would I want them to gloat about their team's one ring when they weren't even born yet?
That's what you guys do now. You're gonna be doing that.
What do you mean?
You're gonna be doing that.
I feel like
all you do is talk about.
Eagles fans are so transparent with everything. We're so realistic.
I'm
pissed right now about last week.
All you do is talk about Super Bowls and what Jalen did in the Super Bowl and how you almost won another Super Bowl when you lost.
I say that to defend your criticism of him, but I don't say that to like.
But why are you talking about the Super Bowl? Talk about his play. Don't talk about one game. You're living in the past.
He doesn't know what an NFC Championship is. He forgot what that feels like. That's what it is.
I did. I did forget what that felt like. But we're not going to sit up here and act like I'm the only one that lives in the past. When you bring it up literally every episode, you bring up the past more than I do. Guaranteed. I don't even talk about that. I talk about legacy. Sure, that's to recruit somebody. I don't even bring up the rings until it's talking time to recruit somebody.
Belichick's not going to Dallas. He's going to Philly if Sirianni doesn't.
Yeah, I can see him not coming to Dallas because of Jerry's ego. Yeah. And I don't know if he would want to go to Philly.
Belichick's going to Philly. Yo, he should have gone this year, but we said yes to freaking Sirianni for whatever reason. But we're going to get Belichick this year.
So y'all can just hate him one year and then love him the next and then hate him the next. And why would you do that?
Because
that's a toxic-ass relationship.
We're realistic. We don't hold on to
you're not.
We don't hold on to freaking Jason Garrett for 10 years. We don't hold on to Mike McCarthy for 10 years.
That's because you don't have the owner we got. We have a horrible GM.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You got a phenomenal GM.
You either perform for us or you don't. If you don't perform, bye. That's how we roll on this side, not over there.
That can't be the case because y'all got one fucking ring.
It used to be 0, and now it's
oh, you're right. Congratulations, bro. Jesus Christ. I should have gave you a cupcake for that.
Okay. Good luck.
I should have gave you that.
Good luck.
Should have. I don't know. Because you it's almost like the 49ers, except you guys won that one. 49ers have been to the Super Bowl multiple times the past couple of years.
So I win.
That's what I'm saying. I said you're better because you guys won one. They have it.
Oh, yeah. At least they've been back.
For what? To lose?
They've been back 3 times.
To lose? That's like going to a girl's house just to leave. I ain't gonna. Let me go ahead and get one. What we doing? Why are we doing this?
Anyway, I got lost. As you can see,
they definitely lost.
Losing weeks put us in a bad mood. So hopefully we're in a better mood next week, which we won't be, but hopefully we are.
You see who I'm repping? Go Mavericks.
You're missing an us.
Don't worry about that. Look, go Mavericks. We're gonna be all right. Cowboys, I'm already ready for Dak's contract to be up.
4 more years.